Handstand training log number 3. It's been 2 years since log number 2, so I thought that, hey, it would be time to get it started again. So right now I'm in Bali, in Canggu. I've been here for 7 weeks on a winter escape, because in Norway right now it's freezing and miserable. So why be miserable in Norway when you can be happy in the sunny Bali? That's what I was thinking, and it's been a really cool change. It's been very interesting to be here. There's many people on the same kind of mission as I am, just escaping the winter, and it's like a tropical paradise. And there's many like-minded who also are into training. So people bringing their laptop to the gym and work and train and work and train and going for eating together, and that's how the days goes around here. So right now it's a little bit, it's soon going to be 12 o'clock, so it's soon time for lunch. So I'm heading to Nirvana, which is not just a gym. It's a gym, a spa, a pool, a restaurant, and also like a shared working community. So I will be heading there for lunch, and I will also bring my laptop and work a little, and then I'll training from around like 1:30. That's my handstand training. And today I am going to do Figa and some combinations with Figa and flags, and finishing off with endurance. I've been, for the last months, I've been training really hard and well, and my focus has been flags, Figas and endurance. I think it's really fun to do, and I've been seeing some good progress as well, especially in endurance. I had on blocks on my right arm 137, and then I've been doing some combinations on canes. I haven't done much endurance on canes earlier because canes is like cheating, and especially for endurance, but I trained with a Russian guy, Alex, and we did endurance on canes after the session, and then it kind of inspired me to try. So I was able to do switch from one arm to the other for like 6.5 minutes. That was pretty fun, so I want to see if I can reach 10 minutes. That would be cool. Anything else? No, I think that was it. Right now I will take you to the gym, and it's an experience to be in Bali. It's so much new impressions. For example, the traffic here, it's completely madness. There's no systems. Everybody just drives, and you drive on the left side of the road, which is pretty new in itself. But then the roads are small, so the cars are passing like this, and then there are scooters on each side of each car. And it's just like survival of the fittest. You have to like find a space and crawl. But the people are so, there's no aggression here, there's no egos. So even though it's completely chaos, the traffic runs smooth. So that's very, very strange. There's no yelling, there's no honking or stuff like that. Everybody's just like finding their way, and somebody passes you and you pass somebody, and it's completely fine. Anyways, other stuff than that, a big change that I'm not used to is all the meals every day I eat out. First of all, the kitchen option here is not good at all, and it's almost cheaper to eat out, and you get somebody to cook you a meal who are experienced chefs, and you don't have to deal with that stuff. But the downside is that it's very hard to know what I'm eating. It's hard to keep track on macros. It gets a bit more random. I'm used to eating the same thing every day and cook for myself every day. So that's a change, but now I've been finding some good restaurants that I've been going to every day for some consistency, and that's been working out. All right, this is the trip to Nirvana.
Since last time I've changed up my warm-up routine a little bit. I simply cut out front split and front split work, also hip flexors and quad work. I experimented with it a little bit, and I discovered that I am in less pain when it comes to my back when I simply don't do side splits. It's something that possibly connects with my operated hip and everything, but to my surprise it hasn't affected negatively my side split. So then I get to do less warm-up with less pain, and also the relevance of front split to my balancing, it's very small. The rest of my warm-up is pretty much the same thing as 2 years ago. When it comes to what I do on two arms, the same amount of sets, the same amount of drills to my surprise, and also the same thing with one arm warm-up. I do more or less exactly the same thing as when I saw the vlog from 2 years ago. So first one arms for the day is just some easy holds. Back and forth, left, right here. I trained with a Russian circus artist, as I mentioned earlier, this week, and first thing he told me is like, your technique is very bad, you become lazy. I trained with him 5 years ago in Vienna. It was super fun, and that was his reference point. So he told me that I need to push taller from the shoulder when I'm on one arm instead of just relaxing into it, and try to shift my hip less over the shoulder. And that makes sense. So I've been trying to kind of change up that focus, meaning that it takes some time to get used to. I've been falling a bit more than I usually do, and also it just feels different. So I wobble a bit more as well. But that's fine. I did not film the rest of my basics, I think. Yeah, I filmed block walks, which is something I do most sessions, one or two sets like this. It's not super big deal. And after this I do 30 seconds straddle on left and 30 seconds straddle on right, and then I do a sequence with 10 seconds in straight, 10 seconds in straddle arm up, 10 seconds in straddle, now in diamond, and 10 seconds in tuck, but I didn't film these sets. So you will just have to trust me that I'm still doing my basic shit on the floor and on blocks. Anyways, moving on to the direct warm-up work for Figa. I do 1 or 2 sets like this, or I just started doing that instead of going straight into it, simply to get more warm in the position before doing them on canes. My goal with it is to increase my conditioning, like it's stretching a little bit, it helps me to remember the pattern, and Figa is something that I'm getting more consistent than earlier, but it's still not super consistent. I want it to be super consistent. That's why conditioning is a good idea. Until it's kind of a cold skill that I can like predictably do every single time that I want to do it without warm-up. First Figa of today on canes. I always use assist on the first one, just to make sure that I nailed the entrance. This was pretty okay, felt good, felt decent. Relatively clean exit as well, until the end there. And then just tossing in some shapes. Left side also had a relatively good Figa day. Left isn't consistent with Figa at all. So whenever I'm able to like get the arm up and balance without falling immediately, that's still something I consider as being good. And if I can exit like this as well, that's a huge bonus. And then after Figa is warm, it's more casual, looks nicer, feels more natural to go into the pattern. And boom, we're there. It's such a good feeling when you nail the exit on the Figa and you know that you've done kind of a successful set there. Very satisfying. And same with the left. And then I moved over to what is my absolute hardest skill to do, and that is to trying to get legs together in Figa. It's so damn heavy and stretchy and everything. And I can only do it like this for a couple of seconds on a very good day, which was today. Then moving on to some sequences, trying to string motions together with a combination. And at this point I lost focus a little bit. There was a lot of people around and I felt a bit awkward about filming everything and stuff like that. So I didn't do too much of it. And I also didn't do too well. So decided to move on to conditioning, which is endurance. So as I talked about earlier, I've been doing some cane endurance, and now the point is simply to try to stay in a handstand for as long as possible on canes. Yeah, and straddle is the easiest. I think it has more performance value to do other shapes and stuff like that, but then I use more energy. So I pick straddle in order to push the time. I allow myself to like just have a little fun with it.
Just finished my hand balancing session. It was like 2.5 hours and it was pretty good. I had some strong Figa going on. Managed to do like a little bit of legs together Figa, which is possibly the hardest move that I have done yet. And yeah, it was pretty decent. Now I am at my regular post-workout place. It's called Protein Island, and they have like added a little extra protein in every meal that they do and have like health focus. And it's right between the gym and my hotel. So it's pretty good. And it also has these amazing protein balls, which you will see right there. And now I will go back to the hotel and chill a little bit for a couple of hours, try to recover as much as possible, like mental and physical, and then I'll do a pool session. Now I've rested for a couple of hours, I feel pretty good, I'm hyped, I'm ready for session number 2, strength. But first I'm showing you my hotel. It's pretty basic. Here's my stuff. And I have an office space though. That's what's most important for me. And the view is also pretty nice from my office. So this is the reception. This is where you saw me earlier today, over here. All right, let's go to the gym.
We are starting out with chin-ups, a light day today, 7 reps. My morning weight was 90 kilos, which is pretty much for me. I have been like around 90 for the last months. Because of routines, I would say. Routines and food, it's been off. Anyways, warming up with 20 kilos here for 3 fast reps. And since last vlog, I've changed up my technique. So earlier I only did chest to bar because full room is everything and stuff. But then I've been influenced by those fucking Germans who are competing in heavy calisthenics and are forcing me to be like, oh, only go cheek over. Okay, I'll do it. So I've been sticking to that for the last like 1.5 years, I believe. It's a little bit easier, of course, because you're pulling less range, but it's fun to kind of do in a competition style, and I don't see a huge negative to it, because you are able to use more weight, you get the stretch in the bottom, which is more important for hypertrophy as well, so it doesn't really negatively impact it enough to stick to the old way of doing it. Anyways, I did 3 sets, 7 reps with 30 kilos for the chin-ups. Now, chest supported row and elbow up to hit the upper back. And I use straps in all pulling motions. That is because I don't want the wrist or forearms to be the limiting factor. I want my back to be the limiting factor. And if you are one of those like, yeah, that's cheating, motherfucker, I don't care, come on, we want hypertrophy, muscle gain for the muscles that we're working. You can train wrist separately or forearm separately. Also, I've had less forearm problems since after I started to use straps. That's awesome. Anyways, I do 1 top set here, I think it was 7 reps, and then I decrease the weight and continue. 3 sets of that before I change up to lat focus, which means elbow down. And I need to use that yoga block because these machines are made for tiny humans and my limbs are so long that I am not able to get a good stretch without having more support between my chest. So yeah, this is single arm lat focus row where I'm pulling my elbow down, making it more lat dominant and less upper back dominant. All fun and gains. This was a fun angle, by the way. So I did 2 or 3 sets, I don't remember, with like between 8 to 12 reps there. And I think chest supported row, I love that exercise because it takes away the lower back, so it's always easy to kind of hit the muscles that you want. And intensity face, this is how my face looks when I'm doing strength training, and this is how it should look like to push yourself max close to failure to get the gains. Then biceps, I do one exercise that has the elbow behind the body to get more stretch on the shoulder attached bicep. If that's how to say that. Fuck, yeah, I think you know what I mean. And then this is one of the drills that I do for that. I sometimes do cable variation as well, but now the cable was occupied. And then same thing here, you want to push so hard that the muscle cannot contract hard enough to be able to do one more rep, or at least close to failure when it comes to especially like lighter exercises like isolation work. And then after that I did one bicep exercise with the elbow in front of the body, where that gets maximum stretched in the elbow. And then I've seen some studies on preacher curls, and that they compared full range of motion to partial stretch range of motion, meaning like the last part and not going all the way up. And it give more gains to do only this part instead of going all the way up. So I have adapted that and only do the down part. I prefer to do with a E-set bar, both arms. We didn't have that set up here, so then single arms. But it feels like it stops sooner with single arm, then I can push out with both arms. Anyways, we did like 3 sets here, 8 to 12 on both of those bicep exercises. And then the last exercise of today is rear delt fly. And I love the cable setup here. That cable machine you can maneuver in every single way, so it's so practical. I wish I had that at my gym instead of just that standard cable tower thing. Rear delt action, I use wrist straps, so my forearms don't get burned out at all. I use my forearms so much in my hand balancing, I want to save them as much as possible. And I also find that when I'm using these, it's easier to focus on the working muscle. So it feels kind of like it's a... yeah, it works really well for me. I did 3 sets of 8 to 12 somewhere, pushing close to max here as well. And that concludes this session. That was like around 5 to 6 sets of each muscle group.
And that concluded vlog number 3, both of my sessions. It was a really fun day. Both sessions went really well, I think. And now I will rest up. I have a few meetings, and then I'll do it all again tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. One more thing. I am just releasing a program, a group coaching concept for beginners, handstands. If you're curious, you'll find more info in the link below. See you next time.